Hey guys, I'm here again with another YouTube video that is active and passive voice. You all must have seen my video that is on tenses. So today I have come up with voice. Before we discuss how to convert active into passive voice, it is very important to know what voice actually is. So voice, if I talk about the proper definition of voice, then voice is the form of verb which shows uh, one second. Voice is a form of verb which shows where the subject acts or acted upon. Now, let me explain this with the help of few examples. Rahul writes a letter. Here you can see this. This is form of verb writes, and it is making it clear that Rahul is doing some work. But if we see the second sentence, that is passive of the first sentence, you will find that here letter is not doing any action. An action is being done on it, so subject is being acted upon here, so it is in passive voice, whereas this sentence is in active voice and this sentence is in passive voice. Okay, so hope this is clear to everybody. This what voice is actually form of verb which decides whether the subject is doing some work or it is being acted upon. Let's move to the next slide. Now there are two kinds of voice. If we There are two kinds of voice. First is active voice, second is passive voice. Active voice, as I we have already discussed in the previous slide, sub wherein subject is doing some action or is found doing some action. You can see they read books. Here they is doing some action. She eats chocolate. Here she is doing some action. Rahul posts a letter. Here Rahul is doing some action. Okay, so here subject is active, that is why these three sentences are in active voice. But if we see passive voice of these three sentences, what we will find, let's find out. Books are read by them. So here books are read is a form of verb, and books are read, here books are not doing any action. Here subject is being acted upon. So here if you see the second example, chocolates are eaten by her. Chocolates are not doing some action. Again here object is being acted upon. A letter is posted by Rahul. So here again you can see Rahul, a letter is not doing any action. So all these three sentences are in passive voice. Let's move to the next slide. So let's discuss the rules that we need to remember always when we have to change active into passive. First rule is object of the active is changed into the subject of the passive, or become the subject of the passive, or subject of the active is changed into the object of the passive. Okay, don't get confused. It is very simple rule. If I have to combine these two rules and I have to make one rule, then I would say subject will subject and object of the sentence in active voice will exchange their places in passive voice. Okay, will exchange their places means subject will become object and object will become subject. Now third rule is, in passive voice we always use, let's discuss rule number 4 first. In passive voice we always use verbs third form, always remember. Now rule number 3, what rule number 3 says, we have to decide helping verb also. Now we always not always, but by is used before that object in passive voice. So if we take here these examples, Shekhar fed dogs. So fed is form of verb. Okay, so this is an active voice because Shekhar is doing some work. Okay, now passive of this sentence would be, dogs were fed by Shekhar. If you see, dogs were fed means dogs are not doing any action. Some action is being done on dogs. Okay. Here, this second sentence is in passive voice, first sentence is in active voice. But if we try to cross check whether this dogs were fed by Shaker is following all the rules that we remember always while changing active into passive. So let's find out. First is, as I told you, subject of active voice will become object of passive voice, and object will take place of subject. So here you can see dogs pehle aa gaya, then Shekhar has become object, and third form of feed is fed, and see you can see by is placed before the object Shekhar, and there is helping verb var. Now come to this slide, present indefinite tense. If you see present indefinite tense, then let's take these sentences first, and afterwards we will discuss deduct the rule, okay, for changing active into passive when it comes to present indefinite tense. So always remember that in present indefinite tense first form of verb is used, okay, and if we have to change active into passive when it comes to present indefinite tense, let's see. Shivam calls Rahul. So here Shivam is subject, Rahul is object, and according to the rule, subject will become object, or this Shivam and Rahul. Shivam is subject, Rahul is object. They will make some deal and will exchange their places. Okay, in passive voice. So passive voice में आकर they will exchange their places. Now you can see in the second sentence Rahul is called by Shivam. So here Rahul पहले आ गए, Shivam बाद में आ गए. Now second rule was, or helping verb. So this is first form of verb, and if there is first form of verb, we will use is mr depending on the number of that subject. Okay, and Rahul is plural, so it will take is. Now third form of verb you can see, and by is placed before Shiva. Now if we see present imperfect means present continuous tense. Here present continuous tense, if we see here, then Rahul is, let's take examples, then we will deduct rule. Rahul is playing football. To replace this ing we will use being, and after dropping ing with verb we will add ed to it, and it will become third form of verb. Now what are, so being played, this is a way to deal with the verb when it comes to present continuous tense. Now what are other rules? Again, subject will become object and object will become subject. So you can see in passive voice, football has become subject of the sentence, and Rahul has become object of the sentence, and by is placed before Rahul. Okay, and now helping verb is already present, football is being played by Rahul. Now present imperfect tense, if you see, don't get confused, or simply if I have to say, we will follow all the rules, but we will add one word after has or have, that is been. As we did in present continuous tense, we added one word, that is being. In the same manner, while dealing present with present perfect tense, we will add been with has, have, and same rules we will apply while changing active into passive while dealing with, when we deal with present perfect tense. So you can see Sohan has completed the work. So here, as I told you, has के साथ been आ जाएगा, and third form of verb is already present, so we need not to make any change in verb. So has been completed, as I told you, you will place by before that object. Sohan, which was subject in active voice, will become object in passive voice. Hope this is clear. Let's move to the next slide. Okay, now this is past indefinite tense. Okay, past indefinite tense, in past indefinite tense second form of verb is used, and when it comes to helping verb, remember for past indefinite tense helping verb would be was and were. Okay, so and same rules, Rohini, which is subject in active voice, will become object, and fruits, one second, okay, fruits, which is fruits which is object in active voice will become subject. The fruits were eaten by Rohini yesterday. By we placed before object, and helping verb, as I told you, with past indefinite tense was were helping verb will be used. ठीक है, तो fruits is plural, so we will use plural verb, and plural is were. Okay, now same rules. Now past imperfect tense. Imperfect means continuous. Now if you remember how we dealt with the present imperfect tense, you would it would be very easy for you to understand this also. As I told you, this ing, to replace this ing we will add being. Okay, and because we are dropping ing, in place of ing we will add ed to the verb. So you can see being practiced. So this is the way to deal with the verb while dealing with continue, when we are dealing with continuous tense, whether it is present or whether it is past. Now coming to decide, now we have to decide the helping verb in the sentence. So let's discuss other rules first, then we will come to the helping verb also. Other rules are subject will become object and object will become subject. So you can see here this tennis has become subject, Karuna has become object, and was helping verb is already present. So while dealing with continuous tense we need not to be worried about the helping verb because it would always be present there, it would already be present there. Okay, now past perfect tense, as I told you, with has, have, you only need to add been, as we added being while dealing with continuous. In the same manner here, when had is present as a helping verb in the sentence, we will simply add been, and other rules we will follow, and easily we can convert active into passive. So see here, it is very simple. Her, which is in objective case, will become subject here. He, which is in subjective case, will become object. So objective of he is him, and subjective of her is she. So its passive voice is she had been called by him. So this was all about this active and passive. In the next video we will discuss passives of imperative sentences and exclamatory sentences. Till then, take care everybody.